Welcome to How Preschool Teachers Do It.
This is Alison Kentos. I am an early childhood educator.
And this is Cindy Tarabush. I am an early childhood consultant.
This podcast is for parents and early childhood professionals.
Let our experience and research-based knowledge become your guide. Hi, preschool peeps.
Hi, peeps.
Before we start talking about the great outdoors, which is in the title of this episode, we want to just quickly mention something that we mentioned last episode, but in case you missed it, people consistently ask us if we have an app for our podcast. So we want to tell you what we do have. Our hosting site for our website provides an app called Spaces by Wix, W-I-X. If you go to our website, howpreschoolteachersdoit.com, you're going to see a menu item that you can click on that says Spaces by Wix app. And it has instructions there for how to get things from us on the Spaces by Wix app.
Yes.
And that includes things like direct access to our listen episodes that are on podcast providers, but you would have direct access to them through this app. Also, the YouTube videos, should I remember every week to upload the correct video. Yes. Hopefully I will get in that habit.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you go there, you will have direct access. The key, though, is being able to sign into it. You need a code from us and you need some instructions, and that's all on our website. Yes. So if you have been thinking, why are these two people not in an app? Well, we are.
We are now.
We can be. You can select our website
So you
for
can
it.
just kind of click and listen. It's that easy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Plus, there's like chats and forums and all sorts of other really good things.
Yeah, there's a chat.
I think there's a forum because I remember we put something on a forum.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't this stuff. So
who knows? Anyway,
at
you
any
can
rate,
chat with us.
Go in there and send us a message.
We're not like technologically
clearly
advanced,
you don't know,
but you know, it's there. The answer is yes, we have an app.
Yes. Well, it's not really our app. It's not our own branded app. It is the Spaces by Wix app. Go look for it on our website. Okay. So let's talk about the great outdoors, because we are days away from summer as we record this episode, which is always exciting for me because I prefer spring, fall, and summer much more than winter. So yeah. So with that being days away, we wanted to encourage you to do a couple things. First, look around your classroom and remember, reflect on all the different sorts of activities that children can do while they're indoors.
Yes.
Then go outside, look around and think, what indoor activities and experiences have I not brought outdoors yet for the children?
Yes.
Children do a lot of gross motor play while they're outdoors, which is great. I've seen plenty of playgrounds with dramatic play equipment outdoors, like those houses.
The mud kitchens. What else happens out there? I've seen like some really cool dramatic play outside, you know, where like they had pots and pans and they're making mud pies and all that cool stuff, but not so much a lot of other things. You know, like if you are outside, if you are a child and you do not want to do gross motor and you do not want to do dramatic play, what else is there for you to do?
Children need to have lots of options outside. And you know, we want them to let nature inspire them. We want them to get the gross motor play. I can tell you as a child, I was somebody who would run around for a few minutes and then be looking for something else to do.
Same.
So
because we're not exercise type people.
We've said this before.
We're the same as adults.
It's sad. It's sad. We admit that's not right.
It's not right, but
no one is perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
So, you know, I would go outside and I would play a little bit, but then I would be looking for, and I would probably go to the dramatic playhouses, and that might be my only other option.
That's not my thing either, though. Dramatic play. That's, you know, so yeah, but that's the only other option I have.
I've worked in programs where we've had things where children can create art outside.
Yeah.
We had outdoor easels.
Yes. Outdoor easels, or they turned part of the wall, they put a string and they would hang the big easel paper on it. And they would be able to use different things for paintbrushes, like outdoor things like sticks or like leaves and things like that. Yeah.
You can hang, if you have a fence, you can hang large paper that you would use for a mural inside.
Yeah.
Hang it outside. And like Allison is saying, use nature items as ways to decorate.
Yeah.
so that children are participating in the dramatic arts and the visual arts.
Yeah.
You know what would be really nice? The other form of the arts out there, music and movement
Yeah.
would be great. Sometimes I've seen people bring like music players, whatever they
Yes,
have
yeah.
outdoors, but wouldn't it be nice to have instruments out there?
Outdoor instruments.
There, I saw a photo, and I've shared this photo with people when I teach. It's a photo of a musical instrument wall that someone hung on their
cool.
fence outside, but it's not your typical instruments. It's
Yeah.
things like the pots, the pans, and other things that children can bang on with their hands or with a tool
Yeah.
that are hanging up on their fences so that children can
Oh,
create music
that
out
is
there.
cool.
It is very cool.
That is cool because I've seen people do not that, but with the fence, especially if you have that what's that called? Chain link fence.
Yeah.
I've seen people take like the large ribbons and allow the kids to weave different things, or they would take like
That's
these
cool.
cups that would fit into the hole so they can make different designs in the fence, and then they clean it all up and then do a different design tomorrow. And it was like a way for them to use their hands in a different way outside, which I thought was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I've also done, you know, you're out in nature, so you think, okay, this is science, but we've done specific science things out
Yeah.
there. In a school that I used to direct, we got this idea. We went to a conference and got this idea, and then we did it every year. It was great. We worked with the children to create a shoe garden. So we would
Okay.
ask the families as children, we would tell them starting in the fall, because we knew we were going to do
Yeah.
this in the spring.
Yeah.
So starting in the fall, we would say, as your children outgrow their shoes, we would love it if you would send them in, because
Okay.
we're going to create a shoe garden. So we collected shoes.
That's
If
cool.
anybody's families didn't send them in, well, people sent in pairs.
Yeah.
So we had enough where we
Yeah.
could give a child a
That's
shoe.
cool.
But generally speaking, I think it's safe to say all the children brought in
Yeah.
a shoe by the time spring came.
Yeah.
And so everybody had their own shoe as a
That's
planter.
cool.
It was
That is
so cool.
really cool.
Their own shoe was the planter, and we used to work with the children to
Yeah.
put the soil and the seeds in, and then we would hang it on the chain link fence by the laces. We would
Okay.
tie the laces
Yeah.
out there. And when every time we went outside, the children had to water their shoe.
Okay. Yeah.
Like they didn't have to water them all. It was you're
Just
responsible for your shoe.
Yeah.
So they went over and they watered their shoe, which they instantly recognized,
Yeah.
and they thought it was so cool. And then when the school year was ending, and they did, by the way, the plants grew.
Yeah.
And when the school year was ending, we would send them home. And I can tell
That's
you
cool.
that I have run into families who told me years later they still have the shoe plant. Yeah.
That's a cool idea. I never heard of that before.
Yeah. So
That's really cool.
that's adding science to the existing science,
Yeah.
which is why
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
bringing it up.
We do a lot of that already. Like we made bug hotels one time.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool because like the bugs need like little like holes and things to go into, and they'll make like nests or whatever, they'll live in there. But like you can take like cardboard or like toilet paper rolls and you can put them all into like a small confined space, and you make these holes and spaces for them in order to go in, and you can go outside and then watch every day how the bugs are in there, which is cool. It's just like a way to reuse materials in a different way, and it helps the bugs.
So you added science to science.
I add science to science all the time. Yeah. So you add science to science, and it gives us something to do outside that's not, like I had kids like, I'm going to bring the magnifying glasses outside because I want to see if the bugs are inside the hotel.
Yeah.
Okay. Or I want to make another hotel. Maybe they need more space. Yeah.
You also, so we've talked about music that happens indoors.
Yeah.
We've talked about science that happens indoors. We've talked about dramatic
Arts.
play, the visual arts.
Yeah.
All
What about
blocks. So they do make, companies do make outdoor blocks,
Yes.
particularly
really cool.
weather safe
Yeah.
for the outdoors.
Yeah.
And you can put that, if you don't already have those, you can put them on a wish list.
Yeah.
If you work in a program or a school in your state, in the United States, that's part of our quality rating improvement systems, you can request if they can pay for that because they have money.
Yep.
So you can say, can we get this for our
Yes.
playground?
Yeah.
You can do fundraisers for it. There are ways that you can get it, but definitely we want children to be building in some way outdoors.
Yeah.
I've also seen people, and it's very temporary because of weather, but I've seen people collect boxes, like shoe boxes or delivery boxes, and then they would bring them outside when they go
That's
outside for
smart.
the children to build and
Yeah.
decorate,
Yeah.
which is another way to cross over into social studies because we can talk with children about what they're building and how that relates to the community, which is
Mhm.
what social studies is.
Yeah.
So how does that relate to our
Yeah.
community? So that's that. What about library? Why don't we have nature books outside?
I don't know.
We should.
We should. It's something you're going to have to bring in probably every day in case it rains.
Unless you have a plastic
or a
container.
plastic container. Like, I don't know why we don't have nature. Because to me, like the best time to read a nature book is when you're in nature,
Yeah.
not inside.
And
you know?
nonfiction books are really important for
Yes.
young children to read. So we
Yeah.
want, I think the outdoors, you can have fiction out there for sure.
Yeah,
You can have
absolutely.
stories,
Yeah.
but I think it's a great place also to ensure that children are exposed to nonfiction books.
Yeah.
So if your outdoor play area has a lot of trees around it, maybe you want to get some books about trees. Maybe
Yeah.
that'll inspire them to look
them
more.
to look.
Or if you have a garden outside, get some books about gardens and
Yeah.
gardening and have it available to them outdoors,
Yeah.
not only indoors.
Not just in.
You just need plastic containers, really, even that you carry back and forth somehow, or maybe you have a heavy duty one that you can keep
in the shed if you have a shed.
if you have a shed.
But
Yeah.
put them in the plastic so they're protected. Yeah.
Right. We want to think about what are children doing that can go out there. I remember one year we set up, we got tables. We made sure we had child-sized tables
Yeah.
in an area under a tree. And it was next to the fenced-in playground.
Okay.
So we would offer the children, if they wanted to go over and use, we would bring things out like the Play-Doh and the crayons and the
Yeah.
markers and the
Or-
paper. And we would bring it out to those
Yes.
tables. And we would say to the children, if you want to go to use the Play-Doh or use the art materials, we made sure an adult would go over there with them.
I've done picnic Legos where I brought
Oh,
a big
cool.
blanket out and be like, if you want to build with Legos, you can. You just need to stay on this blanket so we don't lose the Legos or the animals don't take the Legos and get hurt. And then they would know, like, okay. And so if they wanted to build, they would build with Legos on the picnic. It was like picnic Legos.
Picnic Lego.
Picnic.
I love
Yeah.
it. Picnic
Picnic
Lego.
Legos. It's like,
It also gives them a chance to do fine motor
Yes.
skills and manipulatives that we have
Yes.
inside and
Yes.
pattern and sort
Yeah.
and count.
yeah. Yeah.
And what about scales, folks? Why do our scales only live inside? There's so much to
God,
weigh
the
outside.
Scale should be outside. I wish I had a bigger scale outside to weigh bigger things.
I agree.
You know, like why can't we have that built? I think it's something you would have to build,
I don't know.
but I don't know.
Maybe you have handy people where you are.
Maybe I can
preschool
get
peeps.
that done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, but at least even just to bring out the little scale sometimes from indoors and to say, we're going to bring this out and let's, gather the acorns and weigh them or whatever you've got.
It's outside and it's in your science center. You can only weigh and measure what's inside. When you take it outside, now all of a sudden everything's up for grabs. Let's see if acorns are heavier than leaves. Let's see if rocks are heavier than acorns. Let's put some dirt in there. Let's put some sand. Is dirt heavier than sand? Now you've opened it up to like so many more things. Whereas when it's inside, it's like, okay, I can measure what's here on the shelf. That's it. It's
Right.
limiting.
It is limiting.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. It is
Yeah.
very limiting. And we don't want to limit children.
Right.
And in fact, when they're outside, they think more deeply
I think so.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And
More open, I think.
maybe
Yeah.
it can inspire different thoughts about what they're doing.
Yeah.
They can incorporate the nature around them
Yeah.
in what they're doing. And you can't do that in a
You
classroom.
can't. Yeah.
Not as
Not as
significantly.
right. Because even if I brought nature items into my science center, which I do, it's still what I chose to bring inside. Or maybe a lot of times the kids in my class now, they'll give me rocks because we were really into rocks. So I'll have rocks in my pockets, but it's still like, it's what those select children have chosen to bring inside. Not once you're outside, it's like everything is open and available to be used.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there is no like limiting them at all,
Right.
and that's the way it should be.
It is
That's
how
what
it should
science
be.
should be.
It is how
Yeah.
it should be.
Yeah.
I encourage you all to think about how can I bring some of this out? And you don't have to bring it all at once. They don't have to be offered these things all in one
Or
day.
every day, even like when we did picnic Legos, I think we did it like once or twice a week. It was because eventually they'll get bored. So like you want to switch it up, I think. Today we're going to do picnic Legos, or if a child asked, can we do picnic Legos? I would bring it. But I wasn't carrying that out every single day. I would maybe bring something different out the next day.
You can teach them about the days of the week
Mhm.
by having a different thing you bring out every week on the same
On the
day,
same day.
but only once a week.
Yeah.
So let's say you have your picnic Legos and we only use picnic Legos on Monday.
Yeah.
Then we teach them it's Monday, so we're using picnic Legos. It
Right.
won't be long before you say to them picnic Legos and they're going to say it's Monday. That's how you teach them days of the week.
Yeah.
So you could do like a day of picnic Legos, a day of
Of maybe art.
art, a
Like
day of
painting
books.
outside, a day of books, a day of maybe the scale comes outside. maybe it's chalk one day or some like different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who doesn't love some sidewalk
I
chalk
know,
out there?
right? That's a good way to get writing in, because some of them will write on the ground because they can do it bigger.
They
than-
like it.
Yeah. You know?
But also when you're thinking about chalk for outdoors, I want to just caution you about this. Don't, sidewalk chalk is very thick, but
Yeah.
we want children to build the muscles for the
Yeah.
pincer grip. So you can bring the thick chalk out, but then sometimes you have to bring the thin chalk out.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can buy, I think, things that help with carrying or holding that big chalk now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's been
So,
around for a
yeah.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The small chalk's cool.
Bring small chalk
Small chalk.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And even, the thinner chalk, if you break it in half, they really have to
Yeah.
use their fingers to hold it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like crayons. We're always telling children, don't break the crayons,
No,
but
break
actually
the
when they break
crayons.
them,
Break them.
they're forced to develop more muscles
Yeah.
to hold those broken
Yeah.
crayons. So
Yeah.
I'm good with break the
Yeah.
crayons. But then for many years, I've also been teaching it's okay to mix the Play-Doh. So what do I know? People
I
go,
mix the Play-Doh too. Play-Doh's Play-Doh.
yeah.
It doesn't matter what color it is, it still works.
I remember at some point when I was teaching having a bin of Play-Doh for the indoors and a bin for outdoors.
Yeah, because when they're outdoors, they're gonna put stuff in it.
Yeah.
Like
maybe that was why.
because they'll put the leaves in it and they'll stick the leaves up, but then it gets kind of gritty and dirty. So, not that you can't use the gritty, dirty inside. It's just different.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, you can.
fine. Yeah.
And like I said, the gross motor play is really important, and non-structured, meaning the children get to choose.
Yes.
Outdoors should mostly be a free choice time.
Yeah.
In the state that we're in, we are required to do structured gross motor plus unstructured gross
Yeah.
motor.
Yeah.
And my experience is much of the structured gross motor happens inside.
It's true. Because to me, I'm like, when it's recess, like, and we're outside, I'm like, it should be a free time, I think. That's the time where they can go out and let loose and like choose what they want to do.
Yeah, when people
I
say
don't
to
want to
me,
take that away from them.
no, I don't either.
Yeah.
When people say to me, well, would this count as structured? And they talk about dancing indoors and all that, I tell them, yeah, because you're asking the children to do it. So
Yeah.
it's structured.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's different than a free choice.
Yeah.
So as much free choice among the things that you're bringing outside as
Yeah,
possible,
as
I think.
possible. Yeah.
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 Because children need a balance between teacher-led times of day
Yeah.
and child-directed times of day. And I think the outdoors should be heavily child-directed.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
With their ability to make a lot of decisions
Yes.
out there.
Yes. I think they should be making
Whoop.
making most of the decisions.
And I'm
outside.
sure everybody heard that. That was
Yep.
my son calling. Everybody say hi. I guess it's time to end the
Yes, it
episode.
is.
Okay.
Hey.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. What we were doing was we were listening to the app and to make sure about an episode. And then I didn't turn the sound off my phone.
Hey, where?
Yeah, there you go. All right. I guess this is where we'll end this episode and see what my son wants. And we will catch you next time on the podcast. In the meantime, please go check out that Spaces by Wick app that you can get to through our website, howpreschoolteachersdoit.com.
Yes.
We would love to see you on there. And let us know how you feel about it. Okay, folks. See you next time.
Bye.
Or hear you? You'll hear us.
See or hear us.
Yes. See or hear us next time.
Next time.
Bye, Pete.
Bye.